What if I told you that in just 90 minutes, a single morning attack changed the course of world history forever? A peaceful Sunday turned into fire, steel, and chaos. And by the time it was over, America was at war. If you want powerful cinematic World War II stories told scene by scene with the intensity they deserve, make sure you subscribe right now and stay with us. It is 7:48 a.m., December 7th, 1941. The skies over Oahu thunder as 183 Japanese aircraft sweep in from the north, flying low and fast. Leading them is Commander Mitsuo Fuchida, a veteran aviator who has trained for months for this precise mission. Japan's empire has expanded across Asia, but American oil sanctions are suffocating its war machine. If this strike fails, Japan's gamble for dominance in the Pacific collapses before it truly begins. Below, Pearl Harbor is calm. Sailors wake up, eat breakfast, prepare for inspection. On Ford Island, a serviceman looks up at the approaching planes, confused. They look familiar. Then he sees it, the red circles painted on the wings. Not American. Seconds later, bombs begin to fall. The harbor erupts. Nakajima B-5N torpedo bombers skim just 40 feet above the water, their torpedoes modified with wooden fins to operate in Pearl Harbor's shallow depth, heading directly for Battleship Row. On the USS Oklahoma, Ensign Bill Ingram spots the incoming aircraft and reaches for the general quarters alarm, but anti-aircraft ammunition is locked away and officers holding the keys are still ashore. There is no time. A torpedo tears into Oklahoma's port side. Steel splits open. Water floods in violently. The battleship lurches, listing harder by the second. Inside, men scramble up ladders that are rapidly turning sideways. Some escape. Many are trapped as the ship rolls completely over, her hull exposed above the burning harbor. High above, Aichi D-3A dive bombers scream down nearly vertical toward the USS Arizona. At 8:06 a.m., a 1,760-pound bomb pierces her deck and detonates in the forward magazine. The explosion is catastrophic. A massive fireball engulfs the ship as gunpowder ignites in a single devastating blast. The shockwave throws men into flaming oil-covered water. More than 1,000 sailors are killed almost instantly. Nearby, machinist's mate Robert Benton is blown from the USS Vestal into the burning harbor. Smoke columns rise across Pearl Harbor as West Virginia and California are struck and begin sinking at their moorings. Above the destruction, Fuchida circles, observing success, but something is wrong. The aircraft carriers Lexington, Enterprise, and Saratoga are not in the harbor. America's most powerful naval weapons are missing. On Ford Island, Chief Ordnanceman John Finn drags a .50 caliber machine gun into the open and fires at attacking planes despite being wounded. Destroyer USS Helm races toward the harbor entrance under machine gun fire, weaving through chaos and reaching open water. In dry dock, USS Pennsylvania is hit by bombing runs with no ability to maneuver. At the Naval Command Center, Admiral Husband Kimmel sends an urgent message to Washington. Air raid on Pearl Harbor. This is not a drill. At 8:54 a.m., a second wave of 170 Japanese aircraft arrives, but this time anti-aircraft fire fills the sky. On the USS Nevada, the only battleship underway, sailors continue firing even as shrapnel tears into their bodies. To prevent blocking the harbor entrance, Nevada is deliberately beached at Hospital Point, her guns still firing as bombers focus on her. At Wheeler Field, Second Lieutenants George Welch and Kenneth Taylor sprint to their P-40 Warhawks and take off into smoke-filled skies, engaging Japanese aircraft and shooting down multiple attackers. At 9:45 a.m., Fuchida fires a flare, the signal to withdraw. Japanese planes turn north toward their carriers hundreds of miles away. Below them, Pearl Harbor burns. The Arizona is a flaming tomb. Oklahoma lies upside down. Sailors swim through oil and fire as rescue efforts begin immediately. Men form human chains to pull the wounded from the water. Medical staff work in chaos as casualties arrive non-stop. The attack lasted just 90 minutes. Over 2,400 Americans are dead. Navy, Army, Marines, and civilians. More than 1,100 are wounded. 8 battleships are damaged or destroyed. Arizona, Oklahoma, and Utah are total losses, yet California and West Virginia will be raised and repaired. Nevada will return to fight. Japan achieved tactical surprise, but strategically it failed. The aircraft carriers survived. Fuel storage tanks, repair facilities, and submarine bases remain intact. The next day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt calls December 7th a date which will live in infamy, and the United States declares war. Recruitment offices overflow. American industry shifts fully to wartime production. Admiral Yamamoto would later warn that Japan had awakened a sleeping giant. Pearl Harbor was meant to end America's role in the Pacific. Instead, it united a nation and set the stage for a war that would reshape the world. 6 months later, American and Japanese carriers would clash at Midway, changing the course of the Pacific forever. If you want more cinematic, deeply immersive World War II stories told with intensity and historical accuracy, subscribe now and turn on notifications, because the next chapter of this war is even more unbelievable.